What's up, everybody? This is That Brown Bat here once again for another Mod Messin tutorial, and today we are going to give Syndrome some flying abilities. And how do we do that? Well, first and foremost, we need to go to our Assets folder. Alright, so go to your Assets folder, and you're going to go to Characters. Then you're going to find Syndrome. And he is INC_S Syndrome. Okay, we're going to need to unzip the first one. And the first one is the most important one. That's for the player character. Okay, and it's also for any NPCs that we make, because I'm not going to use Syndrome Boss. I'm going to use something based on the Marvel Battlegrounds. Whenever I get to that anyway, I don't want to keep you longer than you have to be here. So we need to unzip that. Take the address bar and copy it. We also, before we do anything with that, we're going to make a new folder and call it BK for Burger King. And I'm kidding, it's back up. And let's go to the DI folder that we made in episode 1 and go to the Quick BMS and get that opened. Paste that in the address bar and unzip the main Syndrome zip file and save it. Close the dialog box, or close the Quick BMS box. All right, so I'm going to back up the main Syndrome. Actually, I'm just going to move it in there because we're going to need all this extracted. And if you want, you can keep a backup of the extracted folder before we make any adjustments to it. So we're going to go in there and take all those contents out and move them right here. All right, then you're going to check that Syndrome folder and it's empty, so we can delete it. Take the characters folder and I guess take the contents of it, go back, and right inside the characters folder, you can just paste it. And it's going to ask if you want to replace, say yes or no. I always say skip. All right, go back in and we're done with that characters folder. All right, the motions folder is going to have all the stuff for Syndrome. Textures folder, not all characters have this, but he does. And if you go like this and play it, he's not going to have any textures because these are all the Syndrome textures. So you need to take all those textures, right? You can take the folder and paste it in Assets, and that'll move everything into the textures folder. Go back to the Syndrome folder. And now what you need to do is I'm going to take that bent file. I'm going to put a copy of it in the backup folder. Actually, that's dumb. I already have it in that folder. Undo. All right. So you don't need to do that if you already put that in there because it's in there. But anyway, nevertheless, we still need that bent file. And we're going to go to our Disney Infinity tools and go into the Cars 2. All right, so you're going to go in the whip file, work in progress, that we went over in the Zerg tutorial. We're going to paste that in there. Okay, go back to your Assets folder and go to the home, because what we're getting, we need characters. And go to the characters. Nope, characters. And now what we want to do is look for AVG_Iron Man. And that's the folder we need. And you're going to unzip the Iron Man folder. And we're not going to do any mods with him, so we just need one file. And once we get it out, we can delete the extraction, or you can save it for later, however you want to do it. And I'm going to go back to where I have Quick BMS and open that up. Paste the address in the address bar and unzip the Iron Man folder. Done. Go back. All I want out of here is his bent file. So I'm going to copy that. Go back to the Cars 2 whip, paste it in there. So I'm done with that. So I'm just going to delete the Iron Man stuff that I unzipped. If I ever need it again, I can always unzip it. I just don't want any extra stuff in the folders that I don't need, because it accumulates after a while. All right, so remember the notes, the Python instructions. I'm going to open that. I'm also going to copy the address bar. I'm going to open command prompt. Now, some people, for some reason, can't get command prompt to work all the time. If you can't, try this. Right-click on it and say run as admin. But I don't, for some reason, I don't have to run it as admin. Some people have to, but whatever. But type in CD space paste. That's the address you copied, and then hit enter. All right, and then remember you open that. Let's go back in the WIP folder, and you're going to take that line right there for the decryption and copy it, and then you're going to paste that like that. You're not going to hit anything yet. You're going to copy. Let's do Iron Man first. Copy the entire file name, including the extension. And what you're going to do is you're going to hit space, paste, and then .xml, enter. Oh, I copied the wrong address bar. Let's try that again. CD, space, paste, enter. All right, now we're in the WIP folder. Copy that Python code again. Paste. The Iron Man file name. Space, paste, .xml, enter. There we go. Now let's do the same thing for Syndrome. Get his file name and just hit your arrow key to the right until you get to DEC for decrypt. Space, paste, .xml, enter. Okay, now we're going to go to Iron Man, and we're going to open it up with Notepad. All right, go down to where it says Channels, and I'm going to hit Control, Shift. I'm going to leave my thumb on Control, then hit Shift and End. Copy. Close that out. And I'm going to open up the Syndrome XML with Notepad. I'm going to go down to all the way to the left of where it says Channel. Hold Control, Shift, and End. And then Control V to replace all that. Control S to save, and close that out. Now I'm going to copy the entire Syndrome XML, the .xml folder, file name. And then I'm going to hit the right keys on the command prompt, or the right arrow, until I get to right before DEC. I don't want DEC, I want ENC for encode or encrypt, and I'm going to hit space, paste, and then remove the .xml and hit enter. And that's going to override the vent file, and now we have a brand new vent file in here. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go to the INC_syndrome folder, and I'm going to paste that, and that's going to override his vent file. Okay. And now, so if we go to BK, we look at his old bent file, it was 62 kilobytes. And his new bent file is now 70. Simple as that. And then we have one more thing that we need to do. And what is that? We need to change Syndrome's abilities, because he no longer is going to have his abilities. He's going to have Iron Man abilities. So let's open another instance of our assets folder. And let's go down to GameDB, go to Core, and go to Toybox. Look for Toybox Data Map, one of the ones we've been modding over the last few episodes, and open that up. Hit Control F. Hit your quotations, and you're going to type in AVG_Iron Man. Okay, and then you want all of Iron Man's abilities. So right under Iron Man, you got the 14_1. All right, scroll all the way down right before you see Tool Monster Bomb. and you're going to select all of that info, right? And you're going to hit Control C, not X, Control C. You're going to copy it, or you can right click and copy it, however you want to do it. Then I'm going to hit a Control Home, go back home, Control F to find. And now I want to find Incredible Syndrome. So let's see if INC_syndrome will give me a result. Nope. So syndrome is under a different name. So let's type in AV_syndrome, because 1.0 characters use the AV prefix for everybody. All right, so I'm going to highlight from L4-1 all the way down to the end of him, which is right before EMP Chewbacca. And I'm just going to override that. Control V and double check, make sure I have the right stuff pasted in there. Control Z to undo. That's the original. Control Z to redo. And that's the Iron Man stuff. I'm going to hit Control Save. Now there's more things that you could probably do with that to hone in what he gets or what he doesn't get. But you know what? I'm going to leave all that alone. I'm going to leave that up to you. And I'm just doing this, getting y'all started on your awesome modding adventures. Now what I'm going to do is go back to the assets folder, and I need the DNX file for Syndrome Modified. So I'm going to hit Z. Come on, I'm going to hit Z. Stop, I need characters. So I'm going to go to the characters folder. I'm going to hit Z to go to the end of the folders. And I'm going to type in INC_syndrome. And we need to decode his DNX file. So I'm going to go to my Unlewis C folder. I'm going to paste him in there. All right, then I'm going to go to the address of the where the Unlewis C stuff is. Copy that. Go back to the command prompt, type in CD space, and then paste that address in there. Hit enter. Then you're going to open that code up. Before I do that, I'm going to close the Python one so I don't have so much stuff in here. And I'm going to also copy the DNX file for Syndrome, the name, and override where it says blank. Copy that line, paste that right in where we left off on the command prompt, hit enter. Okay, you just created a file called ZZZ. Copy the DNX file, delete it, rename the ZZZ, put it in our backups, copy it, and override syndrome.dnx. Now, what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to rename it to something that we're not going to read on it. We're going to say syndrome backup, bk.dnx, however you want to call it, a backup. So it won't read that, but we're going to make a new one. So now we have to find Avengers Iron Man. So let's go back home, Control Home, hit Z to go to the end of the folders, then start typing AVG_iron, and that's his DNX file, and then we need to decrypt that. So copy that, paste that in the Unlewis C, copy the entire name of the file, get the code that we did, Control Z, and then override the blank. Copy the line, command prompt's already set up, paste it in there, hit enter. Okay, do the same thing again, take the name of it, delete it, rename the ZZZ, take the ZZZ, put it in DNX, the backups, copy it, and replace the Iron Man folder. Now I'm going to take the Iron Man, check it. I'm going to check it. It is good. It is decrypted. Then I'm going to copy the Iron Man folder. Then I'm going to rename the copy. I'm going to rename the copy INC_syndrome. All right. So now that is going to serve as our new syndrome file. I'm going to open that. There's a couple things we need to change, specifically the model. And we're going to open the backup one. So I'm going to put the backup one over to the left, and I'm going to put the one we're going to customize to the right. And I'm going to look for Control F. I'm going to hit, well, if you want, you can change player versus Iron Man. You can change it to player syndrome if you want. Whatever you put in there, it doesn't matter for that line. I'm going to hit Control F, and I'm going to type in PIECEF. That's going to take me to piece file, and I'm going to go to the original syndrome and type in the same thing. And they are both on the L4 level, so I'm safe to copy the entire line. If one is on an L5, then you can't replace the entire line, just what's in quotes. So if you want to play it safe, copy what's in quotes only, and only replace what's in the quotations if you want to play it safe. All right, then we're going to need the model name. Control F, model N. All right, same thing over on the other one. All right, replace what's in quotes. It's going to give us their syndrome model. And I'm going to go Control Home, and I'm going to look for I. Nope, I'm going to type in Swapper, SWAP. All right, same thing in the original. What I'm looking for is the I. The I does not exist under Iron Man because he's wearing a helmet. So what I'm going to do is take where it says Skin Swapper all the way down to slow-mo kill data and copy that from the original and highlight Skin Swapper to slow-mo kill data on the new custom one and override that. Okay, now, does Syndrome have health regen? Give him a little bit. All right, go back home and type in health. All right, till you find the one right under cloud platform category and go down and regenerate delay. I want to say 1 and regenerate. I'm going to say 1. I don't know if you want Syndrome stronger, then go for it. He's a boss. 0 delay. Regenerate 1. I don't know how you want to do it. Dialogue ID. We do not want him to sound like Iron Man. So on the original, go back up and Control F and type in dialogue. All right. Now, we're going to type in dialogue. We're going to type in SY for Syndrome. However, he's not going to talk unless we rename the audio and the name. However, if you do that, you're not going to get sound effects. There's a way around that. I know there is, but I only know one way, and it's not practical. So I'm going to leave him as voiceless for now. And if I figure out a practical way to get all of it without, then I will do an update video. But right now, we're just going to put SY and know that he's not going to talk. But other characters that have dialogue, other incredible characters that know him, will talk to him. All right, from there, I'm going to go to the custom one, go back home, Control Home, and I'm going to type for carry. And I just like to do this, get rid of the carryable, even though for player characters it's not going to matter, but that's just my preference. I don't want another player character picking me up, even though you can't play other player characters. But I do that with the NPCs because I don't want to be able to cheat and pick up an NPC, unless it's Mickey Mouse and I want to pick him up and kick him sometimes. So I just want to do that and see what else is on there. Is Syndrome super strong? Yeah, I'm going to say yes because he does stuff that is super strong, I guess. So somehow he got it. His technology, right? All right, I'm going to go and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go Control Home, Control F, Hierarchy. Should Syndrome be able to have knockback? That's a very good question. If you don't want Syndrome to have knockback, just throw a 0 in there. I find him quite annoying, so I'm going to knock him all over Timbuktu and leave that alone. All right. The only other thing is if you want to change his size, and I'm just going to go, in episode 1, we did some mods to Anakin, so I'm just going to look for the Anakin file. TCW Anakin. I'm going to search for kinematic, and I'm just going to copy kinematic, just those first few lines, all the way down to that L1, just like you see highlighted here, and just like you've seen me do in episode 1. And I'm going to search for kinematic and just replace that with that. And if I wanted to change the size, I'd override that 1. But I think I'm going to keep him the way he is. And that should be it. So where's the backup? Did I close that yet? Yeah, it looks like I already closed that. So let me open up the game. And now he flies. Now, so do we want missile barrage? You know, you can give him missile barrage, and that would look odd. So I don't do that. And I stopped this and did not update the unibeam. So he doesn't have that. So I just have, I mean, I can make him go fast, and I can make him fly faster if I want, but I'm just going to leave it the way that is. You can pick all of it if you want, but I'm just trying to be practical according to, yep, I didn't do the mines either. So I'm just trying to be practical according to Syndrome. If you want a 0-point gravity, then you can get it from the tools and packs and tools. But that's that. So until next time, remember to keep. Oh yeah, look at his legs do get stretchy because he's one of those characters. He just happens to be one of those characters that he's small, and when you put give him big character animations, they stretch out. But that's the only caveat. Just when he's flying, it looks kind of weird, but I've seen worse. So, with that all being said, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time we meet, remember to keep on modding, keep on messing, and to keep on building.
Mod, Messin, mod.